stocks. They have stocks, index funds, mutual funds, options. What I notice is rich people, they like stocks. They have a stock portfolio because of liquidity that they could sell and get cash anytime they want. They can turn that shares into money. And also in some cases, of course, future earnings and appreciations. Sometimes they invest for the dividends, so dividend stocks. So they have paper assets. Now, most wealthy people, they either have created their wealth through real estate or they hold their wealth in real estate. I'm talking about rental properties. It could be condos, houses, commercial properties, apartment buildings, right? There's so many different kinds of real estate. It also could be land that they lease out to farmers or vendors. It could also be mortgages. We call them notes, right? Papers. That could be also part of the investment strategies. It could also be parking lots. Those are cool. Or self-storage units, those are cool too. Or it could be REITs, R-E-I-T, real estate investment trust, right? So what I notice is they have their money, they hold their wealth in real estate, one form or another.
100, 10, 3, 1. It means you look at 100 deals, 100 potential investments. You might break it down into 10. From that 10, you will nail down to 3 that has got possibility, and then you might do 1. So for every day that every investment that comes across my table, I turn down 99.9% of them. I look at hundreds and hundreds of investments, and I do very selectively. Very selective, just a couple. Do you just anything that come across the table, you see online, oh, that sounds pretty good? Or if you're gonna buy a stock, you look at 2 stocks and jump into 1. Or you buy a piece of property, hey, that looks pretty good. Hey, I'll look at 3 properties and you jump into 1. Again, you're not doing your research. Always remember, investigate before you invest.
Imagine this, you are, let's say, making $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year. But by using that $1,000 and you invest in yourself, improving your skills, improving your confidence, improving different areas of your life so you can deliver more value to the marketplace. Now, let's say, hypothetically, you double your income. Instead of making $2,000 now, you're making $4,000 a month. $4,000, that's $24,000 in additional income to you. That kind of return from $1,000 to $24,000 a year, my question is, what kind of investments would give you that kind of return? None in the world. And that's just the first year. Once you get good, you can keep earning and earning after year after year after year. You're still producing income from something that you learned, could be 2, 3, 5, 10 years ago. I am still creating wealth, earning more from the skill sets that I developed many years ago. No one could take that away from you. The government cannot tax it. No one can steal that from you. It is yours. It is yours. So that $1,000, invest in yourself. It will never go wrong. Your first $10,000, invest in yourself. We invest in yourself. Believe in yourself. When you have the habit of accumulating money, you accumulate more money.
Right.
When you don't have the habit of accumulating money, you always have no money. Doesn't matter how much money you make.
Okay.
So that's the second bucket.
Second bucket. Got it.
Okay. The third bucket is the investment bucket.
Okay.
So that's also 10%. So 60%,
yes.
right? 10%, 10%. That's your think of that's your future. That's your retirement.
Got it.
So richest man in Babylon talk about pay yourself first. This is the pay yourself bucket. That 10%.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
So it's that 10%. And then you have 10% is what I call your learning bucket.
Okay.
This is where you learn your skills.
Right.
You go to the events, get coaching, seminars, online courses, 10%. So imagine you've got $1,000, right? $600 goes into the first necessities.
Yes.
Right. Then you have $100 goes into the emergency.
Yes.
$100 goes to investment.
Right.
$100 goes to learning.
Right.
Could be reading a book. And then last one, that last 10%, that's your fun bucket.
The fun bucket.
That's your Mont Blanc pen. That's your tutorial. That's your sashimi.
It might be a little bit big. That bucket might be a little bit big right now.
It's a little bit big, right?
It's a little bit big right now. If I'm honest, it's a little bit big right now.
So then you know if it's 10%, then there's no guilt.
Right. Okay.
So when I buy something fancy like AP watch,
yes.
I use the fun money.
Got it.
I do not touch all these other money.
Got it. Okay.
Because then there's no guilt. But if you don't put it in a bucket, it's very easy to I should take that vacation. Suddenly,
Your learning bucket, that's gone.
Right.
Your emergency bucket, that's like next to nothing. When this requires you to sit down and you do it, it won't happen. I'm just telling you, it won't happen. It has to be done automatically.
So talk to the banker.
Talk to the bank and say, your banker will look at you weird and say, why do you set up like 4, what the hell is this, right? And then you're like, you gotta pay some a couple bucks for the accounts fees and forget about that stuff. It doesn't matter, right? It's the habit of it. So then you know, because then you have fun with this.
Okay.
At first when I did it, I had no money,
Right.
But I did it, it was 1%.
Yeah.
1% just emergency, right? I was spending more on learning, but I was just no money because I was in debt, but I still do it. Then it's like, oh, 1.5%, 2%, 3%, 4%, right? And then to more and more. One person inspired me so tremendously, Sir John Templeton from Templeton Fund, billionaire. He started off investing 1% of what he earns
Yes.
and spends 99%. Didn't have a lot of money. Before he passed away,
Yes.
he was only spending 1% of what he earns.
Wow.
And 99% invested.
Wow.
That's like he reversed that. So you got to think about, and then you get, because then you'd be excited about looking at
The
your
numbers.
emergency fund, like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, you feel good, like, you know what, things are okay. Something happens, I could take care of my family, I could make that happen, right?
Now the emergency fund is just like whatever I paid off on the credit cards, I guess. You know,
That's
sure
what
I
I
may
mean.
have some good credit, but that's the only emergency fund. But it's
And
not
then
even
and then
that
you
much.
look in your investments, like, oh, holy shit, I got next to nothing. Most people have next to nothing,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, oh yeah, and then that's why they think, let me buy some stocks or cryptocurrency
and all stuff, right?
But when you look back at VC, private equity, and especially hedge fund rates of return, the last 10 years, for the first time, for example, hedge funds underperformed the market indices. They underperformed because when you set up a fund, which I had, a third go bust, bankrupt, a third break even, and a third make money.
Out of the entire portfolio.
Correct, out of the 100%. So you're hoping that the third that makes money, you'll find a Facebook, a Google, an Uber, etc. But of 100 deals that you look at, you might invest in 2. And just a fraction of those 2 are going to be those big high performers. But there is no shortage of money because the people with the wealth, the 4 or 5% that control 85% of the money on the planet, don't like the rates of return that they're getting in the banks, which are next to nothing.
Yes.
Okay, and so they're going to venture capitals who allegedly, historically, have given more rates of return. So that cash, and as an aside, for every dollar that you deposit in a bank, they can lend it out between 20 and 40 times. I'm going to say it again, between 20 and 40 times, depending on the leverage of their balance sheet. Okay, so the velocity of money, which you don't need to understand, but the velocity of money is 20 to 40 times greater than Joe going home and putting the money in a can and burying it in the backyard.